The blue really looks like Jamie Lee Curtis. That's one thing I've always thought. No, seriously. Now you tell me. I think she's a dead ringer for Jamie Lee Curtis. At a younger age, obviously, not now. But that was always my opinion.
Possibly.
Yeah. And let's hear it for the mime troupe that are going to come in a minute here. Starting brings misfortune. Perseverance brings danger. Not every demand for change in the existing order should be heeded. On the other hand, repeated and well-founded complaints should not fail to a hearing. Now, what do you take out of that?
Just sounds like random poetry to me. I don't know if it held.
Let's hear for those red pants.
Yes.
A married couple.
Yes, I think I think married couple ripped off this scene.
And that girl with the Cleopatra headgear going on. So, yeah, right there on the left side of the screen.
Very classical there.
I love that guy in the background, though, with the blue shirt.
Beautifully framed shot, though.
Yeah, you got all the characters, lots of depth of field going on. Out. An evil eye on this place. Anyway, we got to get away from reading the dialogue. Let's see here.
I think there's a guy in the background there with a captain's hat on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's some really weird costumes here in this whole sequence.
I like the girl because she wears a white dress with these huge black boots, and she's always carrying around a butcher knife.
Yeah, she's got a little bully knife in the in her boot there.
I think later on she joined the Manson gang or something. Anyway, here we have the planting of the crops, and again you get this very philosophical, hippie kind of language where Peter Fonda goes, they're gonna make it, and again it's this whole commune thing. Like, kids today would never think of doing this because they wouldn't have Nintendo.
Yeah, I think the idea is with Peter Fonda's character is he's highly optimistic. What I really like about that is that Dennis Hopper's character is very pessimistic, and you kind of have that balance between them.
Well, I think that Dennis Hopper is pessimistic regarding Peter Fonda. I don't think it's necessarily optimism. I think it's just more that hippie kind of faith that they had back then. Like they really thought they were changing the world with this kind of stuff. And that wasn't necessarily optimism, that was just faith in the movement, because the whole thing was spiritual and philosophical. But that's my take on it. Here we go. Lots of smoking going on in the film. Oh, you want to talk about this shot?
Probably one of the most, probably one of the best shots in the film. The DOP. This is his favorite shot. He compares this shot with that of a Renaissance painting.
Right. I think this has an homage to the Last Supper. Starts off on that first guy who sort of looks like Jesus, and then goes around to all these disciples that are all going to hear the prayer and then eat the dinner. That's my 2 cents anyway.
And you get these, it's very emotional, very impactful. Everyone just looks so, it's almost like this guy is very interesting actually, because you have all these people. This is what I want to talk about. You got all these people. They have this look of in their face of desperation, of a little bit of a worry in them. They're hopeful, but they're a little worried. But that one guy is looking up in the sky. There's just something off about that one character.
Well, the other thing I like, it's all ambient sound on the soundtrack. There's no music, there's no dialogue, and it's a perfect 360-degree shot. Another shot that you don't see in any films today. And yeah, I agree with you. Renaissance painting and all that, and they're all of the same look, and none of them look like there's a camera in the room. It's a very naturalistic acting thread going on in the scene, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except for that one guy, he just looked like he was trying to make sure he didn't look at the camera, so he looked straight up at the ceiling.
I think he's probably on acid and seeing bats in the ceiling or something like that, but that's my opinion.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, one thing I was going to mention is the original cut of the film was 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I would give anything in the world to see that 4-hour cut. I actually have the 5.5-hour work print of Apocalypse Now, and I mean, a lot of it is garbage, but still, there's a lot of material in there that even if it never ended up in the final film, it is still worth seeing just once. Especially if you really like the film, because there's so many surprises apparently. They picked up a lot more hitchhikers in the work print, and they didn't necessarily go to other communes, but you know, I just think stuff like that would be very interesting to see one day. I don't know why Dennis Hopper, with the proliferation of DVDs now, why he doesn't do some sort of director's cut of this and revisit it. Anyway, here we go with the Mime Troupe doing their best. Doing some sort of routine. You'd think they'd know more songs than that, There were so many folk songs going around at the time, and what are they singing? How do you wear your hair? I mean, kind of a limited repertoire.
I think it was just the drugs they were on caused them to kind of forget some of the other traditional songs.
I thought everyone was into Bob Dylan back then, but oh well. What are you going to do? Here we have more hippie speak about the horoscope stuff. Aquarius.
I find it very interesting how the first one that comes out of her mouth is Aquarius.
Why?
Well, I believe...
Did everyone say that?
Usually that is the first guess, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, what it is you're in the age of Aquarius, right?
Oh, good for you.
So,
good for you.
Obviously, it's almost like everyone's aspiring to be an Aquarius so that they can be fully and completely, I guess you might say, submerged into the age of Aquarius. They feel more connected that way.
That's great. I never, ever thought or noticed that. Good for you.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if we're still in the age of Aquarius. I know we were in that age for a long time.
Okay, just to break away, this is what I was talking about, this sort of enclosed circle of, I think, like, the heads of the commune, let's say, and when he tries to enter, they're like, no access. And it's Luke Askew, the hitchhiker, who comes and says, who sent you? Because this is like the board meeting of the elders or the leaders of the commune, let's say.
I like his how Dennis Hopper's character just kind of shrugs it off and leaves with. He's just like, I'm out of here. As soon as he sees confrontation, he doesn't even question it. He just leaves.
He's just walking around, having a good time. Past the Guerrilla Theater. Yeah. But I like it how he just like falls into Peter Fonda, and he's like, man, I gotta get out of here.
And I would agree with him. If I was there, I'd be the exact same way.
But it's so bizarre because, like, he is a hippie, but I guess he's just not hippie enough for this place.
That's what I'm talking about when you see the difference between their two characters. That's what's interesting about Dennis Hopper's character is it's almost like he doesn't completely buy into the hippie movement. He's more interested in the money and going out and getting the bikes and the girls and the good food, and he's just a traveling man. He just wants to vacation and party for the rest of his life. He's not worried about saving the world in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Whereas Peter Fonda's character is a little bit more on a mission. He wants to find the ultimate freedom, the ultimate peace. He wants to find that ultimate balance in life.
Love how he crosses his legs there and just sits there like, God, let's get out of here, And this weird karate thing or yoga, I don't know what the hell this guy's doing, but this always took me because it's a silent, like, 1 minute shot of this guy just doing some sort of weird Asian thing here.
It's like Tai Chi, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Tai Chi, which no one had heard of at that time, obviously. Jesus doing Tai Chi. Anyway. And he kind of smiles at the end. It's really bizarre.
He does?
Him, right here, see?
That's because he's
okay,
high.
love this sequence. Love it. I mean, everything is right. The scenery, the camera work, the music by the birds. Which is bizarre because it's the only song in the film that's repeated twice. It's called I Wasn't Born to Follow, and it's a really psychedelic piece. And I just think all the elements are at work here for a really great sequence. And are you familiar with the story about Peter Fonda in this?
No.
Well, okay, like, he wasn't actually there when they shot this scene in the pool with Dennis Hopper and the girls, because he was sick. So they shot all the stuff with Dennis Hopper and the girls separately. Those legs swinging there in the left corner of the screen are not Peter Fonda. So then when Peter Fonda was better, they came back and shot him separately.
Yeah, actually, and one thing I do know about this scene is that the two actresses were very paranoid about anyone being present other than the cameraman and the DOP.
Yeah. Well, you can't see anything anyway. I mean,
yeah,
murky water.
they wanted nobody else on that set seeing them in the buck.
So obviously they weren't hippie women.
No, I don't. I guess not. In fact, at one point, one of the producers took a quick peek over the edge there, and one of them just freaked out.
Oh. And that was great cutting back and forth between the splashing, because the Peter Fonda stuff was shot like a couple of months later than the other shots, but they match perfectly photographically wise. The angle of the camera, everything's right. I mean, that's really great continuity going on there.
Yeah, that's amazing, actually. You would, I didn't know that, and if you never told me that, I would have never knew the difference.
You know, and you don't, like I said at the beginning, you don't get any backstory about these characters, which is another interesting facet of the film. And that, if there was one question I could ask, is, okay, I'll get back to that in a minute. You want to talk about this?
What is this?
This is the acid tablet.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did I want to?
Well, I just love what he says. You know, when you get to the right place with the right people, quarter this. And it's so profound.
Yeah, what's interesting actually is he almost tries to rope him into staying, into settling, which is not what they want to do. That's not the goal of. Well, actually, in a way, it almost is the goal of Peter Fonda's character, and he's almost tempted.
Great cut here. Sorry.
Yeah, he's almost tempted to stay, because he is looking for an end to the journey, whereas Dennis Hopper is not.
That was a really great cut there from the commune footage right into this parade with the loud cut into the tuba. I love that. Always did. Anyway, the one question I would ask is, how did they get their names, Captain America and Billy? And not so much that, but where the hell did he get that jacket from? And what significance is it? You know, because does he really love America that much, or what? And you know, one interesting thing I found out about the work print is that the early scenes in the film, before they go for the big drug deal at the airport there, is that these two guys are actually performers in the circus. They do motorcycle tricks in the circus. That's why they had the dirt bikes.
I found that little piece of business there very interesting, where the cowboy ropes the police car. I never noticed that before.
Well, you know, but he says right here, we're headliners, we're performers, baby. You know.
Well, actually, Dennis Hopper said that he got the names from an old. I don't remember if it was an old comic strip or not. About the characters were not exactly Captain America and Billy the Kid. I forget what the comic book was, but that's where he got it from. Someone suggested, when he was telling someone about the movie, someone